Let's get this live stream started. What a frame to start the stream on, though. Look at that. Look at that. Very nice. We're back. We have all the updates, all the mods. I need to get better stuff, but I'll do that way later. For now, I think we're gonna start destroying stuff down here. Let's see, we're gonna... Yeah, this. We need to get rid of all this. How fast does this break? Welcome in, Quartz. Glad to see you here. Okay, this is not very fast. Jack Plays, welcome in. Okay, we've already got a few people coming in here. Welcome to the stream. How's your guys' day then? Glad to see you here. Starting off today. I was gonna do like 5 minutes, 7 minutes earlier, but I had to restart the computer, so the stream would run just a little bit better before we start. I'm gonna see if we have efficiency that I can put on the shears, because I need to be able to break all this wool pretty quickly. Also, issue with the allays. Okay, he picked that one up. He picked that one up. We're just gonna do this. They don't pick it up. They like get stuck, and there they go. Yeah, welcome to the stream. Oh, this guy. Okay, how are you? You're just stuck on purpose. That's your fault. We're gonna see if we have a villager that sells efficiency books, so we can start. Why are you asleep? Efficiency 4 for 33. Oh wow. I need 2 of those. I need what, 64 emeralds? I think my emeralds are at the mountain. Okay, well. Yeah, welcome to the stream. We're gonna be talking about whatever. If people come in with questions, we're gonna be answering those. I'm probably just gonna be working on small things today. I don't really have a goal other than to work on projects. Probably gonna be the nether base, to be honest, mining stuff out and getting everything ready to make like a cool looking bait. Ooh, I need to fill that in. I forgot about that. We're gonna do that first. Will you try to get netherite this stream, like I said last stream? Nah, I try to slow my progression in these streams, just so I can spend more time on the server and spend longer on it. Just a personal thing. Because I was in iron for a long time. I went up to diamond. Only reason I got netherite is because I wanted to kill stuff faster and I needed to mine faster. For the mountain. Because I could not spend all that time on all of that stuff. That would have taken forever mining that mountain out with just diamond. But, and I still have Spider's silk pickaxe, but he hasn't been on recently. What am I looking for? I need dirt. We're just gonna fill it in with dirt. That's what I'm looking for. I will get it eventually, though, just not right now. It's not really a goal. I'm just gonna fill this in so nobody gets trapped down here anymore. I still didn't know about allays. All I do is just free them from the pillagers. Yeah, you have to give them an item and then they'll follow you. It can be literally anything. I need to sleep. For anyone who wants to join the server, it is up. Again, if anyone in the server... If the server's ever offline, you have to let me know so I can put it back offline. I mean, online. I never know exactly when it goes offline because either I'm like asleep or something, so somebody just has to message me. Because the computer will just turn off and it hosts the server, which is the only issue. Next stream, then? Nah, it's gonna be a while. It's gonna be a while. As a Christian, what is the appropriate way to live life? What a question. Well, that's also a loaded question. You could be talking about a lot of things. The biggest one that comes to mind is don't sin, obviously, but that's also broad. There's a lot of ways to live. Then it's also discipleship, then it's living for God, then it's like, that's a whole loaded question. It just depends on what you're asking. So give an item to an allay and it's a pet, pretty much. And what that allay will do, hold up, I can show you really quick, now that I have allays over here. I'm pretty sure you can breed them with like amethyst and get more of them. I don't know, I don't know how that works. But if I go over here, I can show you this. Where are they at? They're holding wheat, so if I just break a piece of wheat, they'll pick it up. And if you have a note block, they'll follow the note block and drop it at the note block, and then I just have it auto harvest. Welcome in, Shiza. Welcome in, welcome in, welcome to the stream. Surplus, glad to see you here. Glad to see you back, man. We got a few returning people, like 3. I guess I'm just soul-seeking. I was raised Mormon for a majority of my life. Oh, I have a question. It's not really about Mormonism, but did you see the Lego scandal in Utah? I thought that was fake, but it's not fake, because the police department had a whole response about it. This is Java. This is Java. What am I doing now? What am I gonna go do? I want to do the nether base. We'll get to that eventually. Church is an option. That's gonna be hard. Oh yeah, I love Charlie's video. Yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting. I was like, I really thought it was fake, because I was looking down in the corners where it was having like the year, because one of them said 2019 and the other one said like 2023. So I was like, oh, they're faking it for views, but looking into it, they're not faking, and that's insane. It was just so over the top with all the editing and everything. I was like, there's no way this is real. But it's also way too elaborate to be fake. What am I doing? Just running around on Minecraft. I don't really have a plan. I'm trying to figure out what I was about to do, and I kind of forgot. But we're going to be doing some, talking about Christianity, topics, similar stuff like that. But you were raised... Yeah, so soul-seeking. I still don't know exactly what you mean by the question of what's it like to live as a Christian, because it is a really deep question. There's a lot to it, because there's grace, there's salvation, there's faith. That's the core of the New Testament. Then you still have the laws, obviously. That's what you should be doing. And then you have discipleship. You have evangelism. You have, of course, Catholics would say the sacraments. That is a whole deep topic about what it's like to live as a Christian. But, like, can you make a Bedrock realm so us Bedrock players can join? Eventually, yeah. That's money, though, that I don't really have at the moment. But if we get enough people boosting the Discord server, you do get a free Minecraft hosting server, which will be interesting. That is a goal that we're eventually going to go to, and just host our own server through that. But that's going to be a ways away. Or I'll just pay for it myself, either or. When I see a Vex, I always think of the Allays, and the Evoker was probably controlling them, and even if the Evoker is dead, they're not the same anymore. That's interesting. I mean, yeah, probably. I need to figure out what I'm doing. I'm just walking around. I want to get efficiency, so my plan was to go get shears. But we're going to be talking about a lot of Christian topics. I'm just kind of a little bit distracted, because I'm trying to figure out what to start the stream off doing. Do I not? I don't have a crafting table in here for some reason. Let me just do that. Oh, I had one on me. It's okay. We're gonna do this. And now we're gonna craft shears and hope to get efficiency. Okay, you should invite me first. I'm your biggest fan. Everybody's gonna be invited no matter what. No matter who they are. I need to get another enchantment table. Okay, do I have the resources for another enchantment? This is not obsidian, this is cobblestone. Did someone take... I think someone took my obsidian. I like to believe most Christians live by the Bible. What exactly do you mean? Welcome in, Zyro. How's your day been? What are your beliefs? What do you believe in? Not to delve too deep, I'm 25 and I got diagnosed... Oh. Thank you for the follow. David, Harvey. I don't even see them in chat. I got diagnosed with stage 3 metastatic myeloma. I can't say that. Oh my goodness. I've been wrestling with mortality more and more. I've started going to church, but I find myself struggling. Well, man, that's deep. Wow. Wow. Skin cancer. Okay. Oh, yeah. I just can't say the word. How did I get the Invis item frame? Resource pack. Oh, I thought you were like 18. No, I'm reading someone's chat. I'm reading someone's chat. It's someone in the chat. I should have specified that. I don't really know what to say. I'll definitely be praying for you. I don't know if you'd want to join the Discord server. I can also invite you to a different one, or just send it myself and get you some prayer for it, for sure. Can be. Scans came back clean. Chemo's going well. Well, that's great. That's awesome. Yeah, I'll definitely be praying about it. Anyone in chat who's Christian, if you would like to take a moment to pray about it, I think I'm going to do that right now. If anybody would like to join me, just going to mute the microphone. Others can join in their own individual prayers. So, I'm going to mute, pray for Vox, or if they want to share their name, they can. I'm not going to push that at all. I'm just going to mute really quick. Take a moment in prayer, if you will. Okay. If anyone else is still praying, they can finish up there, so I'm gonna try not to be too loud. I need to get obsidian. But I'm also going to put it in the prayer requests really quick before I do anything else. If I can find prayer requests. I'm gonna do that really quick. I'm gonna be a little bit quiet because I'm trying to send these over to get prayer. It's a small one, a small ask, like a small sentence. I mean, not a small, whatever, I can't word. It's a small sentence, just to ask for prayer really quick. Well, thank you, the sentiment really does mean a lot. I hope your faith stays unshaken, my friend. Thank you. God bless. Yeah, I'm gonna send that in the 2 Discord servers I'm in. Of course, the one that I'm a part of, but also the one I'm just in to be in. They're a really cool group. So hopefully, you will have lots and lots of prayer on this issue. I'll be praying for you. But yeah. Glad to see you here, though. I'm honestly glad you found the stream. So that you can get the prayer that you obviously need. Why was the Bible changed after Jesus' absence? Oh boy, what a question. Well, what exactly do you mean? I need to go find obsidian. How do I... I'm gonna go to a cave. Why was the Bible changed after Jesus' absence? What exactly do you mean? You're referring to something, obviously, so you're gonna have to elaborate a little bit. Madge Blaze, I'm back. Welcome to the stream. Glad to see you back. Am I good at PvP? Not really. 1.8 PvP maybe, but past that, probably not. I think he means after Jesus went to heaven. I don't know. They're talking about the Bible being changed after Jesus disappeared, so they're referring to something specific. Yeah, but you're saying why was the Bible changed after Jesus' absence? But you're assuming the Bible was changed to begin with, so what exactly are you referring to? Due to the apostles writing on behalf of Jesus' miracles after death, they were eyewitness accounts after the crucifixion. Yeah. Came from your last stream. Well, glad to see you back. Aren't you in the Discord server? I swear you are. Hold on. I swear. Swear not by heaven or by earth. Let your yes be yes and your no be no. Yeah. If not, I do remember you. Oh, I already read that. Okay. Yeah. Semnus, what exactly do you mean? I'm super good at Bedrock PvP without spamming. I pray that you will find the church for you. I hope you find God and you will be healed from this. And live and learn from the Bible. Amen. Amen. But yes, Semnus. I think that's how I'm supposed to say your name. What exactly are you referring to? You're referring to something specific. You're saying the Bible's changed. So where did you hear it? What's your source? How do you know the Bible was changed? That's pretty much what I'm asking. Who made the Trinity? Okay, that's a whole separate question. I want you to answer the first one first. That glows way too bright in the cave. I came down here looking for obsidian. I don't think I'm gonna find any though. You know what? I know where to go for obsidian. I need to go all the way back up though. Which, I can't really say your name. It's in really deep blue, and I don't think I can speak out the user. But welcome to the stream. Glad you made it in. I don't really have too much to talk about. I'm gonna try to answer questions. Oh, hello, friends. See you again. Indeed. I can't really say out your username, though. I'm Muslim, and I'd like to know what you mainly believe in. Okay. How do you know the Bible was changed? Again, we're going to start there. We keep going on different questions, different routes. We're going to start at the base. How do you know the Bible was changed? How do you know it was corrupted? What evidence do you have to support that? God the Father, Christ is the Son of God, and the Holy Spirit is companion in our earthly duties to follow God. That is the explanation of the Trinity. Maybe that's what they were asking, who makes up the Trinity instead of made. Yeah, because I just want to start there on the corruption basis, and then we can get into main beliefs, which is the second thing you asked. Because we can go there too. It's just, main beliefs is a lot deeper of a question. I was going to bring it up. Because Voxin, pretty sure, asked the same thing, or a very, very similar thing. And that's a very deep question. You could be asking a lot of things when you say main beliefs, because there is a lot of them. It's basically the same question as asking if. Okay, it's basically the same question of, how do I put it? Of asking, how do you live like a Christian? It's basically the same. They're very similar in that regard. Because main beliefs and living out the Christian faith are very intertwined, and they're also very deep subjects that can mean a lot of different things. Is this a Minecraft game, bro? It is a Minecraft game. Welcome in, Victoria. Your name's also in deep blue. I almost didn't see it. Welcome to the stream. What are your beliefs? What do you believe in? I'm trying to keep up with chat a little bit while I'm going on a mission. I took the wrong direction. It's okay. We're going to go back. We're going to go back. The argument is from the Muslim faith is that since Romans were in charge of recounting of the Bible. Yeah, but I want to know their evidence, their support. Like, what's their basis for that belief? Other than it says so. Or that it could have happened. It's also interesting that you're going to use the Bible to support your claims, but when it doesn't support your claims, you're going to claim it's corrupted. That's something I see a lot of people, not saying they're going to do it, but I see a lot of Muslims do that, where they claim the Bible. Like, for example, Jesus never said he was God. Muslims will bring that up a lot. But then if you say, well, Jesus said he was God, they're like, oh, well, it's corrupted. It's a huge double standard. They argue since the Romans basically created the first known copies, how can we claim the Bible is from God? Can we not argue the same thing for the Quran? Muhammad didn't write the Bible. He was illiterate, to my knowledge. To my knowledge, again, could be wrong, but it was written by other people. He didn't write the Bible. I mean, the Quran. My goodness, mixed up. It's okay, though. May I have permission to subscribe first and like your streams? You do have permission. You don't even have to ask. That argument can be used against the Quran. Humans wrote the Quran and not Allah. Yeah, really cool. Got it, like, directly. If you're going to use that argument against the Bible, you can use it the same way against the Quran. What's the difference? Also, to say the Romans wrote the Bible or corrupted it is also incorrect. Unless we're going to say that the Greek manuscripts were corrupted, even though at the time the Romans were trying to kill all the Christians and they were hiding in caves, it wouldn't make sense for the Romans to be in the caves corrupting the scrolls. It just doesn't make sense. Greek manuscripts kind of disprove a lot of that. LARP? What are we saying LARP for? How are we LARPing? Bacon, egg, and cheese music. What a username. Welcome to the stream. What made you start playing Minecraft? For stream? Or for just in general? In general? I don't know, I just kind of grew up playing it. That's kind of it. Got introduced to it and just never stopped. We're gonna break all this obsidian, because I need to make enchantment tables. I have none. Now that it got replaced. I'm a Christian and I hope you live and learn by the Bible. That is the goal. That's the hope. Bacon, egg, and cheese music said LARP, though. I don't know what we're LARPing about, but I think they already left. Can I get out of here? Alright. Oh. Okay. I think, yeah, 29's enough. I got enough. You're asking both. Okay. For the stream, I felt led by God to do Minecraft streams, and honestly, it's been the most successful streams of all time. So, that's kind of played out perfectly. My most successful streams have always been on the server, always been on Minecraft. When it comes to... Again, I just played Minecraft when I was younger and just never stopped. What mod is this? It's a mod pack that I made. It's like basically just vanilla plus stuff. It doesn't add stuff that's like crazy. Just small things to make the game more fun or better, but it's still basically vanilla. Other than like elevators and I think some smaller stuff. Not gonna steal from Spider. I gotta go back to my base now. Because now I'm gonna make enchantment tables. Welcome in, Mafia. How's your day been? What are your beliefs? What do you believe in? Oh, there's a ghast. I don't know how to get to that guy. You wanted to ask what, Simnus? It didn't show me anything that popped up. And then they didn't even answer the question. Okay. Oh boy. If Jesus is God, then why doesn't he say he's God in the Bible? How deeply ingrained is this belief? I swear, man. I get this question at least 5 times in a stream, and it's just incorrect. Jesus obviously claims he is God. He makes it very clear to the Pharisees he is God. He is crucified because he claims to be God. He calls Peter a rock, or not calls Peter, but the parable about the rock, he talks it to Peter. I can't really word it correctly, because Peter worships him, and he accepts it. Jesus accepts worship, meaning he is God. Again, there's very clear showings that Jesus is Lord. Jesus is God. In the early history of Christianity, before the Council of Nicaea, which many claim that Jesus' divinity was invented in the Council of Nicaea, Wes Huff recently had a video showing that before that, there are writings showing that people considered Jesus to be God before the writings of the Council of Nicaea. And the Council of Nicaea was only going over the fact that there was this heretical teaching that Jesus wasn't God. And that's what the Nicene Council fixed. That's what they were there for. Let's see. You can call me Sami. Did I say that correctly? Okay. You know, one of the things that confuses me is that atheists believe that a dot exploded and created a universe. And when we asked them where that dot came from, they had an answer. I recently had a conversation, like 2 streams ago, about, what's it called? About the Big Bang. Because I was going over why I didn't feel like the Big Bang made sense. And they made it make more sense to me, so I have to stay logically consistent, that the Big Bang has an explanation. It's just very interesting. Basically, the belief in atheism is that there was energy. In the beginning, there was this large, condensed amount of energy. Through the laws of thermodynamics, energy cannot be created nor destroyed. This energy was eternal. So through that, this energy exploded, and now we have the universe. That's pretty much the argument. That's the way they explained it to me. I always thought it was a hydrogen atom, like 2 hydrogen atoms colliding and then going boom, but they said that I was wrong about that. I haven't looked into the Big Bang. I honestly don't really care. It's not something I have to look into. It doesn't change anything, honestly. God can use the Big Bang. The Big Bang could be... Thank you for the follow. Mafia, glad to... Oh, you're leaving? Oh, God bless you and your family. I hope to see you back here next stream, if you'll be back here. Glad to see that you followed. But yeah, it doesn't really affect me. God could use the Big Bang. Similar to evolution, he could have used evolution. Just because I don't believe that that was the case, doesn't mean it didn't happen. I mean, it's just, ultimately, it doesn't matter to me. I don't care. I don't. It could have merit, it could not. It doesn't really affect me. So, that's just kind of where I stand on it. Can you show the whole verse? Okay. Dragon Ball Tom, Jesus is real. Amen. I'm trying to go back up because I think I missed a chat. Where? Please give me a verse. Okay, so you want the verses. Sure thing. Okay, Vox is sending the verses in the chat. Yo, Vox, you are God sent. Literally. Look at you go. In the chat doing my job for me. But he Yes, exactly. Voxen got it on the dot. I can read this out loud. But he remained silent and made no answer. Again, the high priest asked him, "Are you the Christ, the Son of the Blessed?" And Jesus said, "I am, and you will see the Son of Man seated at the..." One of two. And then they argued that since we don't know where God came from... Oh wait, no, that's surplus. I'm reading the wrong thing. That I am the son of... Oh my goodness. We're gonna restart. I'm trying to keep up with chat. Your 2 colors were the same. But he remained silent and made no answer. The chat's moving too quick. I actually can't read it. I can't. It's gone. Yeah, I'm trying to freeze the chat. I can't. I don't know if there's a button to freeze it. Again, the high priest asked him, "Are you the Christ, the Son of the Blessed?" And Jesus said, "I am, and you will see the Son of Man seated at the hands of power and the coming with the clouds of heaven." That's one of them. That's one of them. That's one of the verses. Yeah, Vox has got this. I don't even have to interfere. Vox has got this whole conversation in the bag. Anyways, I'm gonna read the rest. Is that an Enderman behind you? I didn't see it. I wasn't paying attention. Do you realize that we Muslims believe in Jesus, right? He's one of the top 5 prophets of all time, and he worshiped God alone. Surplus said God's been around forever. I gotta read Surplus's thing. And then they argue that since we don't know where God came from, they don't think he exists, but how can you say that when you have no proof that your belief with the Big Bang is true? I mean, it's faith, obviously. Everything comes down to faith eventually. You have faith in everything, even if you don't believe so. God's been around forever. Yes. I saw it in a verse, but I forgot it. What would be a piece of advice for smaller YouTubers? Post. Sounds really dumb. Oh. Found another word. It sounds really simple to say, just post. But post something. And then, once you post that video, if you have like a small formula of like what you do, oh, I'm going to add my video in here, I'm going to get rid of the silence to start with. You post it. You look at the views. Now you do the same thing. You make a new video, you get rid of the silence, but you do one thing different. You either add Minecraft music, you do bamboo. I don't know. How do you do bamboo in a video? I don't know. You ask me. Just change something. Make it different. Look at the views. If it did better, keep it. You just do that over and over and over again until you get something that's you and does well. That's what I like to do, at least. Yes, I never claimed that Muslims did not know Jesus. Yes, in Islam, Jesus is a prophet. God is Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end. Welcome in, Groot. Welcome to the stream. What do you believe? What are your beliefs? Bob Jr., welcome to the stream. What do you believe in? What are your beliefs? Welcome into the stream. We got a few people coming in here. Welcome in, Lava Bro. What do you believe in? What are your beliefs? Ask that question to everybody. If you're new to the stream, what's your beliefs? If you're a Christian, what's your favorite Bible verse? Sorry, I'm just kind of sitting around. I'm trying to keep up with chat because I'm kind of like backed up. I'm trying to go down and down and down. Keep up with everybody. If you don't have subs, then make videos. If you do have subs, make videos. Especially if you can like post the same video with small changes over and over. YouTube can eventually like crack down on you and they can like take away some of your viewership because of it. But you have nothing to lose. You're a new channel. You don't really... It doesn't really care. Well, it doesn't really matter if anything like that happens. Because again, you're a new channel. It doesn't matter. If that does happen, you're testing, you're getting your formula, you're getting everything set up. At least eventually. And eventually you can stop and start making videos. I'm trying to find... Okay, I came up here for a specific reason, and I'm gonna do this now. Yep. Shoot, how do I make paper? Oh. We don't talk about that. I did not forget how to just make paper. What is the name of the shaders I'm using? Okay. We're gonna have to go to it. BSL. How's my day going? It's going pretty well. How about you? Jacob Martinez. Day 1. Jesus, then dinos alive, then there's humans again. That doesn't make sense. The Devlogian. Welcome to the stream, by the way. I'm a bit confused on what that means. You might have to restate it for me to understand. I know you're talking about dinos to some extent. And then Jesus, but I don't see how those two things correlate, if I'm being quite honest. I should have gotten more... I have some in here. I don't know why I'm running around and doing all this. So I do this. I get the paper. Get the leather. Click the wrong thing, but it's okay. We're gonna do this. Where's the diamonds? I just need to make enchantment tables. Okay, I can't split the diamonds. There we go. I'm just making an enchantment tables really quick. And then we're gonna do this. I won't discredit evolution because honestly the evidence is there. It's a complete and valid explanation, though the Bible was at least being wrote was during the Roman times. I mean, I can't say no. It is a truth, but I believe in adaptation. If we're gonna like get into the discussion in any capacity, I believe it's adaptation rather than evolution. That's my beliefs. Again, I could be wrong. I'm not gonna say I'm right. That'd be very prideful of me, because I got no clue. I haven't looked into it enough either. I don't know much about the science. It's just not something I care to look into. Thank you for the follow, DJ Matt Smith. Welcome to the stream. So yeah, but it's just not something I'm gonna debate on, because it's just not something within my knowledge. I learned that very well with the Big Bang debate. I thought I knew stuff. I did learn from it though, but it wasn't really a debate. I was learning and asking questions. I did learn from it though, but it's just not something that really matters to me to begin with. Why can't I enchant the shears? I thought you... Dang it. Now I gotta get a book. Whatever. Can I get a shout out? Shout out Caden. Welcome to the stream. On day 1, Jesus made the world. Then there's dinos later in the timeline. Then there's humans after dinos. I don't understand. Humans here, then disappear, then appear. So are we talking about Genesis? Of course, that is also somewhat scientific, but could I answer that? You're atheist, Admiral. Well, welcome to the stream. If you have any questions, ask them. I'm going to try to answer them to the best of my capabilities. Though, sometimes I might not be able to, and I'll just have to get back to you with it. Love One Piece, by the way. Just put a fun fact in there. I don't know, I don't read the Bible. Oh, what? How am I supposed to argue, like, for or against anything if you don't know what you're talking about? You're talking something about dinos. And humans. And then no humans. And then humans again. I don't really understand. I'm a bit confused. Hank BR. God bless. God bless you too. Glad you made it to the stream. TLDR, Jesus is the Son of God. 1 died on the cross, other created the heavens and the earth, 2 separate beings. John 3:16. The Word was God, and the Word was with God. People that don't believe in God or think God doesn't exist, what does the afterlife look like? Thank you for the follow, Plants Life. For the people who don't believe in any gods at all, atheism, or even agnosticism, they believe that if you die, there's nothing. There's just blackness. Or not even that, because that's not even nothing. The color black is something. There's nothing. You just cease to exist. That's the belief of atheism. Practically. It's very depressing, but... What is my favorite anime? ReZero. I got to. It's very dark, but it is my favorite. It's very interesting. What is my opinion about atheism and the other religions? I don't really like the other religions or atheism, just being honest, because I believe Christianity is the one true religion. I'm going to stay true to that, no matter what my thoughts are or how I feel. But I love the people. And that's the distinction. I don't like the religion. I don't really care for any others. I will learn about them, I'll listen to them, but other than that, it's just not something I care about or enjoy at all. But, again, I have nothing against the people. I'll have conversations with the people. I love the people. I mean, no issues there. Yo, ReZero's peak. Exactly. Exactly. If you don't believe in God, just remember that even the demons believe. Dang. That's a verse. I forget which one. My nose is itching me. We're gonna be here a while. I really need efficiency. I gotta go get my emeralds. I can't do this. Man, don't I have an enchantment book spot? Maybe I have one. I personally believe that every religion has good values. Well, I wouldn't say every, right? You can also bring up cults. You can bring up... There's definitely religions out there that have immoral values, but of course, without religion, everything is subjective to begin with, so it also believe... It just ends up... It ends up getting to a point of what's moral. How do you define morality? How do you define morality if everything's subjective to begin with? That's the ultimate point. If your religion says this is good, and this religion says this is good, and atheists can say this is good, but when it happens to this person, it's bad. Like, it's... whole subject of morality is an interesting topic. So, when you get to, like, morals or values, especially if you believe in Christianity, which you're going to church, so I think you're leaning towards it, right? To say that every other religion has good values would be incorrect if we're going to say that the Bible is the only objective moral book, since there's only one true God. You would therefore have to say that other religions do have bad values in comparison, because they're not going to follow the Bible to a T. But knowing what is true to your heart is the track that you're supposed to be on. Oh boy, I definitely got to bring up this verse. Why is that a movie? Okay. Jeremiah, chapter 17, verse 9. The heart is deceitful above all things, and beyond cure. Who can understand it? But knowing what is true to your heart is the track that you are supposed to be on. That is what Voxen says. My response to that is Jeremiah chapter 17, verse 9. The heart is deceitful above all things and beyond cure. Who can understand it? Your heart is deceitful. That's my answer. Okay, got it. But what do you think heaven will look like? The only thing I have about it is you've heard about it is the Bible. We don't get a lot of talk on the afterlife in general. We don't know a ton about it. We do get some things. I honestly haven't looked into the afterlife as much. I do have knowledge of it, but I don't know, and I don't even think the Bible tells you a lot about what heaven's going to be like, what any of it's going to be like. We know a few things. I know there's like a few snippets here and there, but to get the overall picture, I don't think we're going to have that until we get there. When we know Jesus is coming back. Okay, let me pull up another verse. This one might take me a second to pull up, just really quick. Matthew chapter 24, verse 42. Jesus replied, "It is not for you to know the times." Wait. Is this the one I'm looking for? Hold on. Okay, I was reading the wrong one. 1 second. Matthew chapter 24, verse 42. Therefore, keep watch, because you do not know on what day your Lord will come. But there is another verse saying that we will know the season and to keep watch. So we will understand when it is near, but we will not know the day nor the hour. That's another Matthew verse. Don't exactly know where that one is. Only the Father knows when he will come back. Yes, exactly. Hopefully soon, get me off this rock. Amen. I think everybody can agree with that sentiment. Are you ministrant? What exactly does that mean? True, in the Mormon church, they do baptism for the dead. Yeah, I've heard about that. They also did not allow black people to hold the priesthood, basically holy power to bless sacrament. That's crazy. Wow. Okay. Welcome in, Noodle Gorilla Tag. Welcome to the stream. Oh. Please stop spamming, or I'm definitely just gonna have to kick you out of this stream. I don't really have a choice if you do it again. You have grace, but you have been warned. Yep, they got a bit. Well, actually, it might have been a delay. We'll give him another shot. It might have been a delay. I'll give him a second for that to go through. Nope. Wait. No, okay. I just gotta put him. Bye, buddy. I gave him a chance. They continued. It wasn't delay. They had enough time. You can call me Noodle for short if you want. Okay. Welcome to the stream. What are your beliefs? What do you believe in? Galactic Admin. Welcome to the stream. Drink some Gatorade, get some rest. Love and peace find in your heart. What is 2x plus 8 equals y? I don't know. I want to ask Christians, do you memorize the Bible? I want to. Honestly, back in Jesus' time, they would memorize the Bible front to back. It was like a coming of age thing to memorize the Bible. I know memorizing the Bible is going to be like a crazy task to undertake. It's something I'd like to do, but it's also like, what a undertaking. We're talking about a book with many books and many chapters and memorizing all that. Of course, imagine the things I could bring up on stream though. If I had every bit of it memorized, that'd be crazy. But hello, I am not religious at all, but I would love to hear your traditions. Well, it gets into the topic. What are traditions? What exactly do you want to hear? When we're talking about the Christian lifestyle, what does that mean? We could be talking a lot about a lot about anything. We could be talking about grace, faith, salvation, sin. We could be talking about the Catholic Church, where they have the traditions, the sacraments. We could be talking about anything. You have to be very specific when you're asking, what is it like to be a Christian? What do you believe in? What are your traditions? Belief is a lot easier to answer just because that's just salvation, practically. But when you're asking about Christian lifestyle, about what are your traditions, all that stuff, you're getting into a huge topic. The reason I'm not religious is because, no offense, it feels like a cult. Okay, now I'm interested. What exactly do you mean by it feels like a cult? I want to get more so your understanding. Because now I'm interested. What do you mean? Because I'm not offended. I don't mind. I'm just interested. Yeah, a little, but believing in something surely beats believing in nothing. That is, I mean, it is a point. But that is a little bit disingenuous. Of course, you have to choose what to believe in, obviously. There's like 3,000 plus religions. But that's also just kind of telling someone, just turn off your brain and believe in something. Why do you have to rationally think about anything? I'm not gonna be mean. I'm just saying that's what it sounds like when you tell someone that. Just don't think rationally. Just believe in something. It is a good point, but that is basically what you're saying. How do I get closer to God since I've been struggling in religion? You don't have to get personal. It's not really what I'm asking. I would like to ask, what do you mean? What do you mean by struggling in religion? How does that work? What religion? I need details. I can give you a lot of advice, but it depends on what that even means. At all. That can mean anything. Anything at all. That could not even be Christianity, that could be something else. I assume you mean religious people have made you feel ashamed of stuff that you've done. I assume that's what that means. How do I get closer to God? You say it like... I'm trying not to be rude or anything. I'm trying to say how that... Okay. You got the explanation. I haven't found time to pray and go to church. I believe in Jesus who died on the cross. What is the proof of your salvation? How do I get closer to God? What is the proof of your salvation? If this is a salvific issue, which I don't believe it is, you're asking how to get closer. Set reminders. Set reminders to pray. Set reminders to read the Bible whenever you have time. If you have free time, try to make an attempt to read the Bible. And if you're doing something else, try to find ways to include God in what you're doing. If you can. Like what I'm doing now, I'm playing a video game, but I still find ways to include God in the conversation by streaming it. I'm talking about God, I'm spending time with the Lord, while also spreading the gospel, spreading the messages, and spending what would be wasted time on basically nothing, just doing stuff to do stuff, to something that's actually productive. I need to read some other things here. Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy, Joshua, Judges, Ruth, Samuel, 1 Samuel, 2 Samuel, 1 Kings, 2 Kings. That's all I can list in order. That's actually a good amount. I'm Catholic because it makes the most sense to me, and I'm not going to be mean, but like Islam believes just in horrible, horrible things. Yeah, that's the best way to put that. That's exactly how I would put that. Not going into detail on that at all. Voxen also brought that up. Yeah, it is in their thing, even if they deny it. That's not... Don't categorize all Muslims under extremists, though. Obviously. That's pretty... Oh, I just broke my mending shear. I wasn't paying attention. Yeah, don't categorize all Muslims under extremists, obviously. To say their book does allow it is truth, though. It is in their book. I don't know what their explanation is for it. I can't tell you. Just don't file them all under that group. Man, so many comments. Wow, what a day today is. We got so many people in here. Let's say there isn't any religions, or there's no fate, it's just you disappear. It's a win-win. Okay, Pascal's wager. You're saying, basically, let's say there is no God. If I die, there's nothing. If you die, there's nothing. Who cares about being religious? If I'm religious, I still get to live a good life with good morals and good values. And when I die, even if there's nothing, I still lived a good life. But if you're an atheist and you die and Christianity is true, then what do you lose? A lot. But if I die and Christianity is true, then what do I gain? A lot. That's Pascal's wager. Pascal's wager kind of sucks. Just bringing it up, because it is obvious. To say that Christianity is the only religion on earth is true. What is true? Is dumb. No, wrong word. I can't word. My brain's kind of like... sound like a glitching robot. We're getting there, though. To say that Christianity is the only religion in the world is false. There's a lot of other religions. I'm pretty sure the counted number is around 3,000. There's 3,000 possible religions someone can believe in. When you tell an atheist that, you're telling them, okay, you got to choose one of these to believe in. Of course, you can always say, choose Christianity first. Try and find the truth, which I would argue that's a better argument. Try and find the truth, go through all the religions, and see which ones don't fit you, but are the truth. You don't want something that's going to make you feel comfortable. You don't want something that's going to make you feel, oh yeah, I can live my own life. I can be as evil or immoral as I want. No, you want something that is the truth. Try and find the truth. That's what I would say. I would argue start with Christianity first. That's my bias. Some people will, some people won't. But that's my argument. Start somewhere. Start in some book, some religion. Eventually get to Christianity, even if you don't start with it. That's what I say. Why am I Christian? Oh boy, what a question. I'm going to read through all this. I got a lot of people here. I'm going to try and get back to that question though. Well, they both sort of have a restrictive way to live, mainly a sort of god or deity. They have some sort of ritual, like going to church or something like that, and a long, long time ago. More often than not had sacrificial things. Yeah, that's not like that anymore, but to say you don't have to sacrifice things wouldn't be true. But that's also an issue of comfort. Would you not sacrifice things if you knew God was true? If you knew God was real? What a thunder sound. You're saying that you wouldn't sacrifice all these things that sometimes you even know are bad yourself because you know God is real. Not saying you do. It's just a hypothetical. I have absolutely nothing against religious people in any way, shape, or form. I just don't like when they force their beliefs onto others. Well, what do you mean by forcing religion? Forcing beliefs. Someone walks up to you, tells you the gospel, and then the person walks away. I've went over this before. I was trying to send my friend Christian videos, spread the gospel, have conversations with them. And they said I was forcing religion when all I was doing was trying to have a conversation. Eventually I stopped because they kind of just stopped messaging me. And obviously they just didn't want to hear about it. But I also can't hide that part of myself, which is religious in nature. I can't just be like, oh yeah, I'm just not religious. And I'm just not going to say anything. Because that's not me. That's not me. That's not who I am. I have this channel for a reason. Very outspoken, public about this. My faith is my faith. To say that I'm going to hide that just because it makes you uncomfortable, I find an issue with that. Of course, I can try not to bring it up. But, again, that's still hiding a part of me, a part of who I am. That doesn't sit well with me. Right? To say that... yeah, it's just, what is forcing religion? We are all called to spread the gospel. It is a part of the Christian faith. It is one of the pillars of our faith, to spread the gospel. Jesus told every one of us, you have a job to do. Spread the gospel to at least one person. It should be way more than that. But Jesus left us with a job, and that job is one we have to try and fulfill, even in small ways. Spreading the gospel was called forcing religion. I asked them if they wanted to have conversations. They said no, so I just kind of left it. What is forcing religion? sharing and then leaving it be is somehow forcing. I don't get it. It doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't really... I don't know. Because it's not like I... well, I gotta look back at the videos. I don't know how long I did it for. I couldn't tell you. I know it wasn't much. I spent like maybe 4 messages over like the span of a week. And eventually they just told me to stop. And... I don't know. How long does a Christian man have to date before getting married? And is it a sin to date or kiss someone before getting married? The first one, I don't know if there's a length. I couldn't tell you. The second one, I think that depends. I couldn't really give you a definitive answer, but I think it depends on self-control, I guess. It just depends. I don't know. The second one's like a maybe. I haven't looked into anything like that. I just thought about people in North Korea not going to heaven and stuff because they forced them to not being religious. And that is an issue that some denominations, I think it's Calvinism, have, where they're like, oh, well, people in the North Sentinel Islands who have never heard of Jesus Christ are not going to heaven because they've never heard of him. Or the people in North Korea, they're not allowed to be religious, so they're not going to heaven. I think my villagers just died on the map. I think I just saw that. So they're not going to heaven, right? I've seen some stuff like that. We know, through the Bible, God is just. Holy and just. To say that people who have had no chance to hear the gospel, no chance to hear of God, no chance to worship God, aren't going to heaven isn't justice. That's unjust. They never had a chance. They never had an opportunity. So knowing God is just, I believe they will be there. Just based on that fact alone. Do you think, where is Technoblade now? Ooh, I've thought about that. I've actually thought about that before. My answer is I don't know. No matter what, I can believe something. I can maybe have an idea. But even so, I don't know. To say that I know God's judgment, to say that I know just because of how someone lived, that they made it to heaven, to say that I know, even in their last breaths, that they did something or didn't, I can't tell you. God can do what he pleases. God can... Like, that person could have converted in the last 0.5 milliseconds. Technoblade could have converted in the last, like, 5 seconds of his life. You never know. You never know. I can't tell you. I can have an idea, but I don't know. Ain't no way a person's back saying, "All hail Satan." That's crazy. I mean, I don't really care if they don't spam it. I don't mind, but more than 4 times is going to be spam. If they want to have a conversation, I'm down. I'm down to, like, talk to them about religion, about their beliefs. Rip Technoblade. Yes, Rip Technoblade. An amazing YouTuber. JK. Okay, yeah, if you want to have a conversation, all good. I don't mind. It's just another person was in here spamming that, and I gave them a chance, and they kept going. Here you go, SMH. I mean, I don't mind. This place is an open dialogue for anything. It's not really something I mind. Let's see. Let me explain something. Muslims and Arabs aren't the same. I can understand the horrible things you mentioned are done by Arabs. I don't know about that. I'm not even going to comment. No one could know actually but God. Yes, that is my belief. Say you definitively know is just incorrect. You can't. Even if you try really, really, really hard. I have to go get some emeralds. I gotta be able to buy 2 efficiency book. Wait, no, if I do that, I need unbreaking too, because my thing's gonna die. Okay. Me personally, I don't believe, but I think it's very interesting. Yeah, if you have any questions, that's the whole point of the stream. Ask away. If you don't, all good. That's why I'm here. I am fine with people talking about their religion and their cultural practices. In fact, I love hearing their lifestyle, but I don't like people who harass you because of something you did. Can you explain? Ooh, that's It's interesting. I need an explanation, though. What does that mean? Harass you because of your lifestyle. Bro, I am watching you, and I'm Arab plus Muslim. Well, that's what someone else said. That wasn't me. That wasn't me. I'm just reading chat. You have to talk to that guy. That's crazy, though. How much days are in this world? I think doesn't it tell you in here? Of course, some of this is AFK. I don't know. Real life days, probably a few weeks. Maybe a month. I don't believe it to be anything past that. I understand how you don't believe some religious, but when you... Oh boy. I understand how you don't believe some religions, but when you get proof of God's grace and Jesus' power and love, dust makes sense to me. I can't really make sense of this sentence. Yep, I need this. Ooh. Yeah, I get harassed at school because I don't believe. Again, any questions, I'm down to answer. My friend is Christian, and he always talks about Christian stuff I never really understand. Again, questions, I'm here to answer. If anybody has anything. You don't... Harassment and spreading the gospel are different. Making fun of someone and spreading the gospel are different. Make that clear. I don't know what they're doing. I don't know if they're doing things right. I don't know if they're doing things wrong. I would assume, because you're saying they're harassing you, that they're not really spreading it in the correct way. I can't make a judgment call on that. I don't know unless I have details, which I know some of you will give, some of you won't, which is all fine. Not really what I'm entirely asking for. It's just I'm trying... I don't know. To harass someone, that is a word, man. If you're saying someone's harassing you, then they're likely not spreading the gospel in the way that is intended. If they're passing judgment, then they're likely not spreading the gospel in the way that was intended. Well, my grandmother believes I'm going to hell because I play Magic the Gathering on Saturdays. That sounds like, what's it called? Where people believed that people who liked metal or rock music were going to hell. I think that was like, I don't know what time period that is, but that just reminds me of that. It's also the same people that's like, oh, if you watch anime, you're going to hell. Like, one time I was playing Roblox game with my sister, and there was a character with 666 in the name, but my grandma heard that and freaked out, saying we can't say that and it's not allowed in her house. 666 is said to be the devil's number, and older people tend to believe it more strongly. That is funny, though. Like, what was it? Guest 404 or 101? I don't even remember. There's so many things like that. So many things. Guys, it's Hero Brian. He's in our Minecraft server. Yeah. A lot of that's really interesting. Now I need to buy mending too, so I gotta get like a good amount of emeralds here. That's crazy. His whole thing is he is a demon. It's like saying ladders are banned because you walked under it one time. I don't know what that means. I don't know what that's in reference to, but it is interesting. Some of those things. It is kind of funny. But yeah, going back to the harassment thing, they shouldn't be harassing you. If they're bringing it up in normal conversation, if they're talking about it, then that's fine. It's a part of who they are. But if they're judging you, it also depends on what kind of judgment they're passing. If it's with love, then sure. But if it's with hatred or even just contentment or malice, then that's not really love. That's not what we're called to do. We're called to enter all conversations with love, kindness, and gentleness. And that's it. If we enter it with anything else, trying to say anything to that person, you're automatically in the wrong. Even if you're spreading the gospel. Even if you're talking about things. If you're not spreading with love, you're not spreading with kindness, then you're doing it wrong. Period. I gotta go. So I pray you live by the Bible and you love the Bible and God. And I love One Piece and I love your stream. Well, thank you, Aiden. I hope you subscribe and catch the next one on Thursday. I pray that you'll be here. God bless you and your family, and I hope you all stay in good health. I'll see you next time. Is it a sin to listen to some non-Christian music that it's not made by a bad artist who has bad lyrics. I think it's a personal thing. For me, I care, but I'm kind of in the middle on that. I want to listen to only Christian music. I don't listen to only Christian music. I feel like I should, but at the same time, I don't know. I feel like it's a personal thing rather than a sin. Like, if you're personally convicted and you do it anyways, then it'd be sin. But if you don't feel bad about it, if you feel it's fine, I would say when it comes to like bad words or rap music or anything else, I feel like that's wrong. When we're bringing up topics like that, I feel like those are wrong just because I feel like I don't like hearing that stuff. Personally, that's just me. But I think it's personal preference, rather. Could you rank One Piece out of your favorite anime? I've never watched it, to be honest. It's too long for me to be able to enjoy, if I'm being real. Just, like, flat out honest, I couldn't enjoy it. I can't watch a show for 4,000, not 4,000, like over 1,000 episodes that just repeat the same plot points over and over. It's just not something I could do. Okay, we got... Can I, like, buy... Which one of you are mending? You're mending. Okay, which one of you will sell me Unbreaking? Do we not have Unbreaking? Bro, you are missing out. You can, you should. I don't know. Why should I believe in your religion? What a question. The ways I could answer that are very vast. Very vast. It depends what you're looking for. You want evidence? You want differences from other religions? It depends what you're looking for. I'm going to go over a few that are just on my mind at the moment, and we'll go from there. I do not have Unbreaking in here. That's really annoying. Well, look. First, the Bible. Crazy way to start this out, but the Bible. The Gospels are eyewitness testimonies, or they are told by other people that were eyewitnesses of what happened. Back then, it was a huge thing, Jesus' death and resurrection. So back then, you have all the Gospels that we have now, eyewitness testimony. Then, you have the historical evidence that Jesus lived and died. Even if you're not going to say he was a man, or if you're not going to say he's God, my bad, said that wrong, you still have historical evidence from Roman governors, from Jewish historians, all of those, that Jesus lived, and he died. And then, you have the gospel itself. It does not teach perfection, but rather, it teaches grace and faith. That you may be saved, not by your own works, or not by your own deeds, but through the belief in Jesus Christ. That is the gospel. That if you profess with your mouth that Jesus is Lord, and you believe in your heart that he rose from the dead, then you are saved. That's the whole story. That's it. The end. That's where the sentence ends. That is the gospel. You should strive to be better, and being a Christian, you will automatically, through faith, strive to do better for God, but that is not hinging on your salvation. But that is something that will come through your faith. Faith without works is dead. If you do not have works, then you do not have faith, because faith will automatically bring about works. And those are the main ones I can think of. If you're looking for something else, then you have to ask the question yourself. Is being lazy a sin, like not doing stuff you need to do, but then you just keep putting it off type of lazy? It depends. I believe laziness in general likely isn't, but it depends. What are you putting off? Are you putting off something that God wants you to do? Are you putting off something that God placed in front of you that you're meant to do? If you're doing that, then yeah, I'd say it's a sin. If you're putting off something important to help your family, something important for your livelihood, your job, your career, anything like that, maybe school. That one's debatable. Maybe school. But if you're putting anything off like that, then yeah, I would probably say it likely is. I believe it depends on the type of situation and what it is. Why would I be a Christian and not a Muslim? The gospel. don't Muslims believe in works? That they must live up to the law and be perfect to make it to heaven? Is that not the Muslim belief? I'm pretty sure it is. I know it's the Jewish belief. Legalism. The gospel. That you do not have to work for your salvation. I think music, much with any form of art or media, can conclude its own message. One person may hear Dear Mama by Tupac and think he's recounting his sins. Others will see it as an apology letter to his mother. That's a question for yourself. No one has the tried and true manual for life. I would argue the difference. The Bible is the manual for life. I would argue difference. God the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. It's very interesting because like you're saying stuff that is Christian. You're bringing up Christian topics and answering questions for me. But then you're like, oh, well, no one has the true meaning of life. No one has the true manual of life. Just follow your heart. You just do what you want. That feels very contradictory to me. How might you be bringing up points or evidence for Jesus, for God, for any of it, and then still be like, oh, well, no one knows. I couldn't tell you. That seems very differing to me. I don't know. I can't really explain it. It just seems odd that you can hold both views at the same time. I'm trying to... My goodness. I keep getting lost. I like that I'm getting lost in these conversations, but I'm trying to, like, at least do something. I got a book. Now I need to go find Unbreaking. No, we don't have that law. What is the Muslim belief? No one's ever told me this. I haven't looked into the Quran or Islam too terribly much. I just know there's some things I don't like about it. But I don't know their beliefs about salvation, about heaven, about any of that. What's up, man? Welcome in, Crowvex. Welcome to the stream. What are your beliefs? What do you believe in? Oh, there we go. But before you said evidence, and I think people made fake evidence for fame and money. Historical evidence is not for fame and money. You don't make money off of historical evidence. That goes into an archive. And how would you get fame or money if you're dead? The disciples died. They didn't gain anything for being Christians. Nobody gained anything for being Christians in that time. They were persecuted and killed for being a Christian. There is no gain for any of that. Of course, you could argue a few thousand years later, a few hundred years later, that's when people started making money, sure. But why would people still continue if they're not gaining any of that? They're not gaining money. They're not gaining fame. They're dying. They're being tortured, brutally murdered. And they're still Christians, and they're still part of the faith, and they're still believing, and they're hiding in caves, and they're reading the Bible, and they're looking through the messages. You have all of that. Which one of you guys are gonna sell me your mending, your fortune? Do not one of you have Unbreaking? Or... I'm missing a dude. What? There's only 3 guys here. Where'd my librarian go? What? Missing an entire librarian down here. Muslims have some direct law for the benefits, and you know what drunk people sometimes do. We have simple laws, but we don't have harsh laws. How do you make it into heaven? That's what I'm asking. How do you make it into the afterlife? I believe life, following good values, following God, and living as closely as you can to Him is what our life should be about. Yes, sharing the gospel is important, but as the old saying goes, you can lead a horse to water, you cannot make him drink. That's what I don't understand, though. You're saying that I believe following good values, but also following God. How can you hold both at the same time? Like, you're saying... I'm assuming you're saying good values are separate from God, separate from the Bible. You said there's no manual to a good life. So then how do you explain that? You believe in the Bible, but you believe there's no manual to living a good life. I don't see the connection. Because those two are very contradictory to me. How you can hold both. How you can believe the heart will lead you to the best place while also As Jeremiah says, the heart is deceitful above all things. How may you hold to both? Is there a difference between simply not following a religion and being atheist? Because I don't follow a specific religion like Christianity, but people act like being an atheist is inherently bad. There's a difference. There's a difference between being atheist and agnostic. An agnostic believes that there could be a God, but there's no proof, and they just don't know. An atheist believes there's definitively no God at all, and there's no way there is a God, period. So, there. That's the difference. Yeah, so that's the difference. To say you're an atheist would be incorrect if you believe that there could be a God. In the first century church, Christians were looked upon as heretics and lunatics. They lost almost everything. So either way, they believed in something from in-person experiences or they were crazy. Yeah. I mean, they literally were tortured to death for the faith. They gained nothing out of that but death. Well, to be fair, to die is gain. Okay, but people not much long ago weren't really that smart. Oh boy. Weren't really that smart. Like, we know so many stuff now, and they didn't. We continue to learn more and more. I think C.S. Lewis talked about a similar thing, about how many people believed people back in the day were stupid. My goodness. Well, that is pretty much what he said, though. I think that one was just because I was kind of like saying what he was saying. We'll get there eventually. It's gonna take some time. But believing people just weren't as smart because it was olden times. But to say that is very, very cognitively or logically, I don't know what word I'm looking for. Basically, people back then are more accustomed to and saw death more than we did. We say, oh, well, people back then, they just didn't know. They just weren't as smart. So of course they would believe someone came back from the dead. Obviously. They just don't know what we know now with modern science. But to say that is really just logically inconsistent. People back then were way more familiar than death than we were. The average lifespan for a person back then was young. Very young. People were dying all around them, and people there were very accustomed to death within their lives. They likely saw family members, brothers, sisters, many people pass away within their lifetime. To say just because they were old and didn't understand science as much, therefore they couldn't really... Of course they would believe Jesus resurrected. It's just not logically consistent. As, again, they were very familiar with death. To say someone resurrected would be the same as saying someone resurrected today. It wouldn't make sense. Of course, we have the logical science to say, oh, well, that couldn't happen. But they saw it happen. They never saw someone raised from the dead. Someone died and they stayed in the grave. That was it. They saw it happen. They were very, very familiar with death. What denomination am I? What denomination am I? Okay, why did I ask that as a question? I was reading something else and my brain got confused. I don't really follow a denomination. I don't know where I fall. I likely fall between Baptist and evangelical. The church I go to is the church I go to is evangelical. I likely fall more Baptist. I just don't really adhere to any denominations. I don't even call myself non-denominational because that in and of itself is a denomination, which is like doesn't make sense at all. How can you say you're non-denominational when that in and of itself is a denomination? Agnosticism is more logical than atheism because the universe has clear design. I could see that. I was agnostic because I just believed there had to be something. It doesn't make sense for there to be nothing. At least to me. Oh, okay, so I'm agnostic. I never knew there was a word for that. I didn't either. I learned it after I became Christian. Furthering the point, putting in comparison, we were both human. We both had pride in our country. Both were Christian, but his solutions were unorthodox and they went against God's commandments. I want to say something. Because we're talking about the German man here. About the difference between you and the German man, which is crazy comparison. But I'm trying to think of what to say. Can anyone explain agnosticism? You believe there is something, but you don't know what it is. You believe there is a God, but you don't know what God it is. You believe there could be a God, but you don't have evidence for a God. Pretty much. That's agnosticism. Yeah, to say that he went against God's commandments is correct. But to also say that he was Christian while also carrying out those duties doesn't fit to me. That doesn't sound right. You're actively rebelling. You're 100% fully doing this in full on knowledge that it's wrong. In full knowledge. And you're saying, oh, well, I'll just be given grace anyways. I don't even know what evidence there is for that specific person being Christian. I know it's stated that he is, but I don't know the evidence. I haven't even looked into that. I don't care to look into that. I don't want to know. I mean, I don't. I don't want to look into that guy. To stay, it is an interesting question to talk about that. Most people back then were uneducated, but it doesn't mean thousands had daydreams that all align. Yeah. Didn't you just prove my point that they didn't live as long, so they didn't have as much knowledge? I proved the opposite. They knew a lot about death because they didn't live long. What is your opinion on games like Bendy and the Ink Machine or Ultra Kill? I like Bendy and the Ink Machine. I grew up watching that. It was really, really cool. I don't know if that studio's still doing anything. I don't know what Ultra Kill is. I haven't even seen. Only thing I've seen of it is the Power World update. I have no knowledge on it. Guess who's back? Jake is here. Welcome in. What are your views on the Big Bang Theory? Not the show. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, it could be plausible if I'm being logically consistent saying that if energy can be eternal, then God can be eternal. But I don't know. God could have used the Big Bang. God could have used evolution. I don't really mind either or. Well, Ultra Kill is killing the demons, so if I had to guess, it's endorsed. Yeah, I don't know anything about Ultra Kill. I don't know. Not sure that's how it works. What are we talking about? Hello, how are you? Welcome in, Fisher the Gamer. What are your beliefs? What do you believe in? Is cussing adultery if you do it as a teen? What? No, cussing is not adultery. Those are like two separate things. Cussing is a sin, but it's not adultery. That's funny. Welcome in, Zaku MC. Welcome to the stream. That's a really funny question. I need to now get a villager that sells me mending. How do I do that? I'm also Christian. What's your favorite Bible verse or your favorite book? How do you navigate complex or tough questions in the Bible, like the problem of suffering or free will or versus God's sovereignty? Good questions. I believe there's explanations to all of it. I wrote a whole paper, like a whole thingy, like 4 pages, on sovereignty and free will, like God's sovereignty and free will and all that. There was actually 2 of them. If we're going to say that, argue that, oh, well, does God have free will? That's a whole other topic that I wrote on. But either way, you're never going to know. Period. I'm just going to put it like that. When you're talking about sovereignty, when you're talking about free will, when you're talking about those topics, you're not going to understand it. You can get close, you can understand a few things, but you're not going to understand what God sees. You're not going to understand how it works or anything like that. My bad, I accidentally muted myself. You're not going to understand it. There are ways to reconcile the two. There are ways to say that neither exist. You can argue either or. You're not going to know till you make it to heaven. That's my point of view. You're not. Because I looked into it. There's a lot of Bible verses on it. It's an interesting topic. They can be reconciled. It's not a big issue when it comes to that. So it's just not something I worry about. People using that argument usually say, oh, well, we don't have free will, so God is evil because he sent us down here knowing I'm going to make it to blank, right? So anyone making that is arguing not in good faith, and they're likely just going to argue until you agree with them. They're trying to prove their point rather than being open-minded. When we're talking about the problem of evil, that's a different topic. The problem of evil, through Adam and Eve's sin, right? Through Adam and Eve's shortcomings, eating the apple and such, sin entered the world. The world is fallen. The world is evil. So through that, evil entered, a perversion of what God intended. So now we have evil. And that's just kind of the whole thing. I can explain more into detail, but I'm trying to keep my brain going as we are struggling a little bit here. Welcome in, Legendary. Welcome in, Outdoors. Tough question, though. Do I like the story of Babel in the book of Genesis? Tower of Babel's cool. I haven't read through it fully. Am I Gnostic? No, I am not a Gnostic. I am a Christian. How do you get the mods? You join the Discord server, go to Minecraft info, and it tells you. Best Bible verse is Joshua 1:9, in my opinion. I actually had a digital artist make me a background that says it, so I always have it in my pocket. Oh, that's really cool. If you're in the Discord, send me that. I want to see that. I have the toughest questions. No, they're good questions. They're good questions. I apologize. I guess what I'm saying is some of the best people I met were drug addicts, and some of the worst were bishops, Mormon faith. While it is important to have a love of God. Okay, I get you. I get you. How is dying early means you understand more about death? If you see someone drop dead in front of you 10 times in the next week, are you going to understand more about death? And then you watch them all get put into graves, and then you look at that and be like, oh, they didn't come out of that grave. I think that's a knowledge about death. I thinks. And that's what I'm saying. If someone sees a ton of people die, they understand that death is permanent. If someone says that Jesus resurrected, they're automatically going to be like, no, that's not how this works. They don't need to have the scientific consensus to know that that doesn't make sense. Because they experience it, they see it, they know. That's what I'm saying. Are you a Gnostic Christian? What does that mean? Awesome name, by the way. But as a Christian, for any denomination, read the Bible, pray daily. Oh, you're answering a question. I don't see the question. Yeah, I don't see it. Maybe it's only on your side. How do you view Jesus' claim of being the way, the truth, and the life in the world with many religions? His claim lines up pretty accurately. Okay, now I need to get... His claim lines up because the gospel, again, I've said this last time, the gospel is unlike... Wow. The gospel is unlike anything else I've ever seen. I believe that there's no other religion that comes close to the gospel. None. That is my belief. That all these other religions are teaching that you have to be good, you have to do this, you have to do that. To go to heaven, you have to be the perfect guy and just be so amazing. I believe that's the difference. Jesus being the way, the truth, and the life. All you have to do to go to heaven is believe in him. Confess with your mouth and believe in your heart that Jesus died and rose again. That is salvation. Through that faith, through that belief, you will do better. It'll be natural rather than a forced effort by your own will. That is, I believe, the difference. Many religions say, oh, karma, oh, just do good. Oh, it's just subjective. Just be moral how you want to. Oh, well, just be legalist and do whatever. And if you do this perfectly, then guess what? You'll go to heaven. Because you just have to be perfect. That, I believe, is the difference. Do all dogs go to heaven? I don't know. Couldn't tell you. I had that brought up last stream. The Bible doesn't talk about it. So I don't know. It is my belief that they will go to heaven. If you ask God or walked up to Jesus and was like, hey, can I have my pets that I had on earth? They wouldn't say no. I do not believe so. If it would really make you happy, I doubt it. I believe even that there will be places to take care of pets and animals similar to the garden. I believe there's going to be a lot of stuff like that. But that's personal belief. April Roberts, what do you mean? I think that came up with religion to cope with other people's death, and just because people die doesn't mean you can see them in heaven. You just see them die. I don't get the argument at this point. I think I'm going to drop the conversation. Agreed. Through Jesus' ministry and his sacrifice on the cross, all of us sin, but all of us can still reach heaven. Yes. Jesus is the way. The path to destruction is wide. The path to salvation is narrow. That's a verse, paraphrased, obviously. And that's another verse. Brother, keep up the good work. I love Jesus and God. I only believe in them. That's great. Amen. I am going to have to delete your comment. I don't want anyone to put anything personal about themselves on here. Just being honest. But, amen, man. How did you get that cycling? It's a mod. Yeah, it's a mod. It's a modded Minecraft server pack thing. So, man, what happened? Now I gotta make another shears. But now I can actually enchant it with unbreaking, so hopefully we'll... It took me a whole, 2 hours to get these shears, because I've been focused so much on these comments. It is a good thing, but keeping up is a little bit difficult. Just a little. Because my brain is so focused on conversations, I can't focus on the game. Because if I focus on the game, then I'm not focused on conversations. Never thought I'd actually have to put mending on shears, but here we are. Okay. I can get that for 2. We're going for 2. That's 5. Okay. Okay, it doesn't change. Okay, it doesn't work that way. That's fine. Okay, now we got good shears. I think people saw people die, so they had to make a way to cope, and they found religion. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Whoa! This is satisfying. Wow. I love your texture pack. Thank you. With that logic, doctors must be making a killing in tithing and offerings. Whoa. Ooh. You just have a doctor as a priest. They'll do amazing, man. Or just have all the doctors pay a ton of people. Wait, that's a good question. How many doctors are religious? That's a good question. How many doctors are religious? The only type of Christians I dislike are the ones who follow the religion just for the promise of the afterlife. Even I believe you have to actually follow the teachings to go to heaven. Yeah, a lot of people claim the title of Christian without actually being a Christian. It's very sad. Not to say... Oh, I forgot about this. Not to say that... It's just really sad. Not to say that you can't do things wrong sometimes, because that's not what I'm saying. But people who actively, generally just, again and again and again, they're doing drugs, they're doing all these bad things, and then they're still calling themselves Christians, just doesn't make sense to me, because with faith you will have the works, and with faith you will do better. It just doesn't make sense. I just believe that's not true faith, if you're going out and saying, oh, well, I'm a Christian, but I'm going to do all these bad things. How do I get a texture pack on my Switch on Bedrock? I do not have an answer. I don't really play Bedrock. Can you answer? Because I'm pretty sure people needed to cope. Well, Voxen said it themselves. If that were the truth, then doctors would be amazing at giving money to people. Because they would have to have a way to cope with everything. Of course, you can't say it's not a coping mechanism. It is. But to say that makes it untrue, I believe is false. Just because it can help you cope with stuff doesn't make it false. I'm getting in here soon. I'm getting tired. I had a long day yesterday. I'm still sleepy and everything. So I'm not going to go for too much longer. But please read my Gnostic explanation. Okay, let me go back up. I didn't see it. We got a ton of people in the chat today. Wow. Gnostic Christian means you believe you can prove your claims or it has already been proven. Agnostic means you believe but you don't believe you can prove it before death. So, ooh, okay. So I believe that I can prove my claims. In which sense? There is a lot of things about the Christian faith you cannot prove. I mean, there's a whole point of faith to begin with. How can you have faith if you have full knowledge? That doesn't make sense. But to say that you have no knowledge at all also wouldn't make sense. There has to be an in-between. You can't say, oh yeah, I have all the knowledge, because that's false. You don't know what God sees. You don't know how God is. You can understand his nature based on what he's told us. But the other stuff, you have to infer. Based on everything else, right? I can say I know how salvation works. I can say that I have faith that Jesus existed. That's not foolproof. But I believe 100% in my heart that it is. I know through the historical evidence there's a strong case to be made that Jesus is real. And that he did die on the cross. Though, that would be what? To say Gnostic or agnostic isn't really a fair comparison. You have to have faith. That's the Bible's teaching. Faith is a necessary part of religion, of Christianity. It has actually praised those who believe without seeing. I have a lot of evidence and a lot of, not proof, you can't prove anything. I have a lot of evidence. Personally, I know a lot. I know definitively that Jesus is real. I know a lot of things. But there are still points where you have to have faith. It's not really a black or white situation here. Doctors are religious, but are not legally able to talk about it or do medical practice differently. If I may, I do use cannabis for help with my chemo. Does that make me a fake Christian? Oh, that's a good question. The Bible says you have to be sober-minded. That is the teaching. Does it make you a fake Christian? No, absolutely not. It's something you need. It's something that you take as medication for everything going on. I do not believe that makes you a fake Christian. It is a tough situation, because it is taught, again, we should be sober-minded no matter what we do. But that doesn't make you a fake Christian. It doesn't invalidate your salvation. And I don't think you can really help it right now either. But I would say after, try to get off of it once you can. That is a very distinct situation. If anyone were taking it on purpose, I wouldn't say that makes them a fake Christian either. It just means they're struggling with something. But I'm saying if you're doing all the sins, if you're doing like literally partying, drugs, alcohol, if you're doing all that stuff and still calling yourself a Christian, I believe you need to repent and believe the gospel. That is my belief. Saying you are a fake Christian sounds wrong. I don't really like that sentence. I just don't like that you're going to claim Christ while not showing the fruits, I would say. Because everyone struggles with something. Everybody. Everyone has some issue. Everybody has something they deal with. Nobody's perfect. No one's Jesus. Everyone even has a few things. Some people have anger. Some people have laziness. There's a lot. But I'm saying if you're actively doing all the wrong things on purpose and you're not even trying, then I believe that would be where I would draw the line. Not saying you're a fake Christian. I'm just saying you need to try and do better. Just try. And not use trying as an excuse like, oh, well, I'm trying and I'm still going to do bad. That doesn't make sense. Faith without works is dead. You should still bear fruit, even if you do things wrong. I mean, there isn't really a middle ground in believing if it's proved or not, to my understanding. What am I looking at? I was scrolling and found your stream again. Well, welcome back. God's will. This is some of the best message I've ever heard. Who are we talking to? Voxin, was that something you had to tell the class? Why is that wrong? Guy with the incredibly long username. Yeah, it is. I mean, hey, it could have been something they were wondering about. Again, my stance. Once you're done, get off of it. Or at least try to. And that's how I feel about it. But right now you're taking it because you have to. It's medication. We are called to be sober-minded, again. So, it's just something that once you can, you should. But right now, that's not not something you can. Something you need. Is there one where you believe and don't have to be agnostic or agnostic? I feel kind of iffy sometimes being in conversations about religion and especially Christianity, because how does one talk about something they never have and probably never will follow or study? What exactly does that mean, the gaming guy's YouTube? That's interesting. I want a little bit more clarification on that. I mean, there isn't really a middle ground in belief. Oh, that's what that was for. Okay, that was answering that. Okay, thank you. Exactly. Jesus turned water into wine, not for partying it up in the synagogue. He did it to remember him by. And I do plan to, hopefully, by the end of the year when chemo's done. Yeah. Yeah, okay. I would say you're fine then. It is still something wrong, but it's something you can't help. Right. I believe God would not fault you for that. You're gonna sleep, and then I need to grab, like, scaffolding or something to get up here. We're talking about Gnosticism here. Still. Yeah, I was looking at that. There's gotta be a middle ground. There's an in-between. Though we're asking about belief. Religion is about faith. Christianity is about faith. So, I mean, there's some parts you can be Gnostic in, and there's some parts you're gonna be agnostic in. You're gonna have both. You're gonna have both. It sure beats the restless sleeping and puking. Yeah. Yeah. My goodness. That sounds horrible. I pray that God be with you. Hello, fellow Christian. Welcome in. Welcome to the stream. I'm looking for my scaffolding, and I cannot find any. There we go. Why are we talking about space dust? Yo, I'm a Muslim. Do I respect you? Of course. Why wouldn't I? Do I respect your religion? Not as much. That's the only difference I have. Respect the person, but I don't really respect religions. Because I believe that Christianity is the one true religion. That's my belief, and I'm never going to falter on that. How am I supposed to do this? If Jesus loves us, then why are there people that are handicapped? I would say it's the same argument for people who are LGBTQ or anything. I would say it's because of a fallen world. We have issues that happen. We have a lot of things that aren't exactly God's will or God's plan, I would assume. Though, that's a whole other topic that I don't really want to get into. But I believe it's just a perversion of what God intended. A perversion of what God wanted for good. The same way the devil perverts a lot of things. The devil doesn't create anything new. He just takes what's good and makes it bad. Oh, I can reach it. Wow. What packs am I using? I'm using a mod pack that I created. It's on the Discord server. So, it doesn't mean curiosity can't captivate you. You are free to ask questions, believe it or not. Man, we only have, like, what, 15 people in here, and I'm already, like, kind of losing track of chat. I'm kind of worried once we start getting more people in here what stuff's gonna look like. Like, of course it'll be an amazing gift to have that many people in here, but keeping up with chat, it's about to be... Oh, boy. Christians believe in one and only God, but we still respect everyone in every religion. Yeah. If... What? What is that question? Hold on. What chat is this on? Hold on, I'm being a little bit loud. I'm gonna move the microphone. What is that? Where is that question at? Is it not on... Did it automatically get filtered? Okay, I think it automatically got filtered. If anyone in the chat saw that message, let me know, so I know where it is. You should turn on slow mode. Yeah, eventually we'll get there. Right now, it's gonna have to be something that I just... Not right now. Mormon is the right way. Oh boy. Yeah, I'll turn on slow mode later. Right now we're at 15. I can handle it mostly, but past that. What is that? What message? Okay, I don't think anyone sees it. That was crazy. It only came across on my screen. It got, I think, automatically killed or deleted. What? What? That is crazy. I'll say it again, mate. No, it's okay. I don't think I want that to be restated. At least you know what message it was, man. At least you know at least you know what I'm referring to. That wow. That floored me. Uh, do you have mods? You'll definitely need some if your channel grows. I do not at the moment. I will eventually. I know we've got a lot of people in here that like stick around a lot, so I'm probably gonna end up modding some of those guys that are here pretty frequently. So, but for now, I don't really need any. It just seems like stream grows and grows and grows per stream. Oh my goodness, I said it again. Oh boy. Yeah, it's just not gonna go through chat. I have yeah, it's not gonna go through. Honestly, good, but it's just the protection systems I have on here. I don't think I want that to be stated anyways. You can like you can keep that, buddy. You can I don't need that to be restated. Have I ever heard? No, I have not heard of that. Can I join with you? It's Java Minecraft. But if you want to, the only requirements, you have to have joined the Discord and you have to have Java Minecraft. That's the only two things. If you want to, yeah. I mean, it's an open server. How do I get up here? I don't know. I think I'm just going to have to start filling this in and get up there later. Yeah, we're just going to do that. That's crazy. How can I deal with anxiety as a Christian? I think it's Psalms 23. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. I would pray that one over and over. Can you make your diamond? You know what? Why not? We're gonna do that. We're gonna make my diamond hoe netherite. Cause why not? Just cause I feel like it. Just cause I feel like it. Oh right, I need the smithing templates. Where's that? Where are my templates? My templates are gone. Oh no. Okay, well I don't have templates. Okay, well, can't do that. Is this hardcore? It is not hardcore. It is just hard mode. I wanted to ask you, what is your opinion on LGBTQ people? From what I've seen, it's mostly split and different Christians have different answers, so I want to know what yours is. Okay, glad I saw that one then. I've said it before. I believe it is sin. Point blank. I believe a lot of things are sin. All sin are equal in the eyes of God in the sense that it separates you from the Lord. Everybody sins. Nobody's perfect. I do not believe you can be Christian and be gay in the sense that you can be going to pride parades and celebrating all of that. I do, however, believe you can be Christian and be gay in the sense that you have attraction towards other people that are the same as you. You get what I'm saying. I don't really want to say that, but that is my belief. I don't like the sin, obviously, but I love the people. Hate the sin, love the sinner. Love the sinner, hate the sin. That is what we're called to do. Called to respect others. Called to love others. I don't agree, again, with what I said. With how... I don't know. My words are... I'm literally just walking around. But I said my piece. That's my beliefs. I respect the people. I love the people. I just don't like the sin. I've got to go. Thanks for the informative stream. Bye. God bless and have a great day. God God bless you too, Galactic Survivalist. I hope you have an amazing day. I pray for you and your family in good health. I can't word. Just God bless you and your family. I hope you all stay in peace and good health. I pray that the Lord be with you all. My friend, if you don't mind, can you please pray for me? I'm going through a lot right now. The feeling of emptiness, loneliness, and anxiety. If anybody here is Christian and they would want to pray for Victor, please take a moment in the stream to pray for them. I'm also going to put a prayer request out for them. Here you go, like you requested. Oh, that's cool. Whoa. Yeah. I was looking at the Discord. I'm going to put a prayer request in the Discord for Victor. Anybody here, please pray for them. I'm going to pray after I put the prayer request up here for them. Let's see. Right now, I'm just going to send these out in the channels for prayer requests. Okay, I'm going to pray now. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. I prayed for Victor. I also sent it out to everybody. So, we got a lot of prayers. What a stream. This is crazy. Last stream, I streamed for 4 hours. And I got 800 views. This stream, I streamed for 2. I get 1,000. Our peak today, I think, was 22. Wow. We're kind of on, like, a little bit of a downslope here right now, which makes sense. I honestly think I'm going to end here. Maybe now. Yeah, we're just continuing to drop people. I think. Let me reload. Maybe I'm wrong. Yeah, we're at like 6. I mean, that's fine. 6 made me so happy. Like earlier when I was getting 6. I'm glad that we're getting like consistently a good amount of people in here just for chats. I do think I am going to end up ending here. It was a really good stream. I'm going to be back Thursday, hopefully. I don't think I have anything going on. I pray that for everybody in the stream, good luck, my friend. You earned a subscriber. Thank you for your wisdom and patience. Thank you, man. It's always a pleasure and such an honor to have so many great people in this chat. Last stream was so amazing. So many people here are really nice and just everything. I pray that all of your family will be safe. I hope you have darkness will perish. If you have sadness, darkness will perish in the Holy Spirit. Talking with you has been very helpful and eye-opening. I wish you have a wonderful evening. God bless all of you, man. You guys are amazing. Every single one of you. I pray for good health, for happiness, for peace, for love, for comfort, for everyone here. I pray that you all will have an amazing day, and I'll catch you next time.